Colchester Boroughs.
Tēnā koe, Mr Chair, tēnā koe te whare, kia ora mai tātou, tēnā tātou katoa. I rise to take a slot in this debate on unemployment or employment, whichever way you look at it, depending on whether or not your glass is half empty or half full. We've done a lot of work with the unemployment sector, and we've setting on turning some things around, bearing in mind the situation that we find ourselves in with the New Zealand economy being in recession for a number of years before the international recession hit, and the challenges have been difficult. We currently have just over 60,000 people on the unemployment benefit as at May 2010, and this compares with 45,000 in May 2009. That's a 31% increase in the past year. The challenges around unemployment are very, very significant. But what we've been able to see is that by making some changes, some incentives, and putting some packages together, then employers, significant corporations, the NGOs who are working to assist people who find themselves in the situation of being unemployed are all working together to make that picture a little bit better. And there are times which are cyclical, which will be more difficult for people to find employment. There will be other times, of course, when things will be easier. But what we do know is that there are people out there who are very much interested in finding work. And as to their credit, the previous government managed to, in good times, reduce the level of unemployment right down to about 3.5%. Which was a very good situation to be in. What we knew is that when the cycle went around, that it was going to get more and more difficult. At the time that they took over government back in 1999, there was about 500. There was about 500 extra jobs a week coming into the workforce, and that trend sped up over the time that they were there. But unfortunately, the wheels got a little bit wobbly and things started trending down. In the last 12 months to March 2010, we've seen nearly 50,000 people leave the unemployment benefit and get into work, and around half of all, this is around half of all unemployment benefit cancellations. So things are looking good and looking positive. We're not at all trying to minimise the obligations we have, especially around those who find it difficult to find work, especially those 18 to 24-year-olds and those, unfortunately, within the demographics that have traditionally been overrepresented, Maori and Pacific Island. We certainly don't shirk our responsibility to work hard to give them the opportunity to get into work. But this government's invested an extra $285 million in social development responding to the recession. It's a significant amount of money. Some 91 million has been focused on young people by providing 12,000 job ops as covered by the previous speaker, 3,000 community max places and 2,500 extra places in the limited service volunteers. It's been a real joy to be able to go and visit some of those limited service volunteer programs, to see the work that they are doing, to see the work readiness that they get young people up to. And I'm reminded of a young man from my electorate who was appearing in court. He had been in and out of trouble for some time and was, I guess, pushed the judge pretty much to breaking point and appeared at an opportunity at a time when he was about to head off to jail. His lawyer made a plea for the judge to allow him to be remanded on bail so that he could attend the limited service volunteer course. And so the judge, being a creative judge that he is, Judge Rob Murfitt, unfortunately seemed to leave Taranaki and to head back to his home stomping ground of Canterbury. Will be a big loss in Taranaki. But Judge Rob Murfitt said to this guy, well, how much do you really want to go in the LSV? And the young fella said, heaps. So he got their sergeant to drop him on the outside of town out at Normanby and said, OK, I'll give you 45 minutes to get back to court. You get back to court, then you can be remanded. So that young man did exactly that, turned up in court with his boots off and his feet looking a bit sore and tired. He was put on bail. He was allowed to go and attend the LSV course, which he did. He then joined the army, did his basic training and joined up and is soon to return from his first tour of duty in Afghanistan. It's creativeness within creativity within the community, creativity within government, and people who do have a will to work and an expectation to do their bit in this community that will see us get through this recession. Thank you.
Members, the question is that vote employments stand part of the schedule. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Members, the question now